Page 37, the Whirlwind. On page 36, they're introducing a thing we use in music called a half step. It's really, really super important. If you're going to understand in theory and what we're going to get into a little later on, we need to understand half steps. Half steps is like the atom. Like you get down to the lowest parts, even though there's parts of an atom, we're going to pretend the half step is the smallest unit we can have in music. A half step. It's one note in relation to another. It's the next note up or down on the keyboard. White or black. Doesn't matter what the key is. The next note up or down is a half step. You can't have anything closer in our harmonic system. There are other harmonic musical systems throughout the world that divide the pitch up even at smaller units, but we don't. Half steps is the smallest we go. So let's just say, like on an A, if I go up a half step, it's the next note. If I go down a half step, it's the next note. That's it. That's just know what a half step is, because later on we're going to say, what's the relationship between this and this? Well, it's so many half steps. It's important. They show them at the bottom of the page 36. You see the line of music. You're going up half steps or down half steps. You have a D, and then a D sharp, and then an E. See, and then an F, because that's a half step because there's no note in between. It's a half step. So you're just going down. Now, I don't agree with the way they're notating in this. Typically in music, when you're going to go up half steps or down half steps, when you go up, you'll use sharps, and when you go down, you'll use flats. So here, they used a sharp going up in the first measure. I'm at the bottom of page 36. A D and a D sharp, that's good. That's okay. But in the second measure, it should have been an E flat, not a D sharp. So an F, E, E flat. It's the same key on a piano. It's just in the written music, we generally use flats going down. So I would have preferred they do that. And in the last measure going up, that I would have preferred that be a C sharp, not a D flat. However, as long as we understand half steps, that's what we're getting at. And in Whirlwind, we're using them all over the place. Look kind of ugly with all those eighth notes and sharp signs and all, but we'll just look at it, calm down, have a cup of coffee, whatever, we'll take care of it. Look it over, it's 4 lines of music. We're using treble and bass clef still. 2 4-time signature now. And I see a bunch of eighth notes and half notes. Pretty much. Okay, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Let's take it one hand at a time. Right hand, you're starting with thumb here. It's got to put your hand in this position, but it's not going to work out very well because of the black keys. When you start dealing in half steps, you're going to scrunch up a little bit. So here it's 1, then a D sharp, and then third finger on the E. See, we had to adjust a little bit because of the black key. So really the position is here for this. Just 4 notes. 1, 2, you just keep playing these 4 notes. You're just playing half steps. Okay. Then in the third line, now you had rest here. Now you're back into this position, and it's E. 1, 2. Now, these fingers are awkward fingers. They don't work as well as the other fingers. It's important we use the awkward fingers. And all I'm doing is I'm just transferring weight from finger to finger. I'm just walking here, and rotating a little bit. I can exaggerate it so you can see it better. It's here. But really the motion is very little. I'm just shifting weight from one finger to the other, and I'm just lowering which finger the weight is on. Stay relaxed. No tension here. You just let the weight do the work. To get louder, you simply use more weight. That's all. And then in the last line, you're here, then come down. Here, in the left hand, I'll get that last bit at the end. Don't know why, but that's what they want to do. Okay. Then the left hand, well, in the left second line, you're here, and normally you'd be here, except we got this half steps going on. So it's here, 2, 3. So really, we're here for this line. Here, and then in the the third line, they want third finger. Well, you're in this position now. And then 5 and 3 for the last two measures. You're here together, and then the left hand will play those last two notes, a C and an E. It's up here. You use any fingers you want. I don't care. Just use some fingers. So we put the hands together. Well, the hands don't play together until the third line when we're here. See, we're up kind of on top of each other, so the hands have to learn to get along. It's just the way it is. And here, 3 and 4 in both hands. And then just the left hand just comes up. And the right hand comes up. They both come up, but in different ways. Isn't that weird? Okay. So once I have the hands put together, then I go back through and make sure there's no hesitations anywhere. Keeping it slow is fine, no hesitations. Then I think about the articulation. And here they put in phrasing for you. So you're going to connect each line and lift up at the end. So at the end of the first line, I'm going to lift up before I play the first note. Don't connect them. No, lift up. So there's just a speck of silence. And then at the end of the second line, if I repeat, then I'm going to lift up. Again, just a speck of silence. And if I go on, a speck of silence. Yeah. That's all. That's for the articulation. Then the dynamics starts out soft with a hairpin to go up to loud and back down. And you're going to take 4 measures to get loud. Well, we have to plan it out. If you don't plan it out, you'll be loud by the second measure. So the first measure, I'm staying soft. Second measure is just a hair louder. Now I'm sort of moderately soft. Now moderately loud. Now loud. So it's like a measure at a time, sort of. I just went up just a hair. Yeah. Same thing in the second line, but now you're getting softer. Loud, sort of loud, sort of soft, soft. So I'm just up and then back down. Third line, same thing, and the fourth line, same thing. Now in the fourth line, they give you a ritardando. Well, let's talk speed then. Allegro moderato. Well, that's a kicker because that's sort of fast. However, it's not necessarily the speed of the beat. It's the overall feel of the piece. So the eighth notes will slow it down a little bit. Because sort of fast one, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Sort of fast. 1, 2, 1. But if you can't play it even and controlled at that, it's too fast. You slow it down. You can play it faster later on when you get better. You have to pick a speed for these. You can play accurately. And that's going to be your Allegro moderato for now. At the end, the ritardando, the last 3 measures, slow it down. Just slow it down. How much you slow down, you feel it. How much do you think you should slow down? Now, they've added pedal at the end. You don't need pedal. You can do it fine. You don't need pedal. I don't like adding pedal at the end of a piece unless it's blues or some style of music where it's typical. But they've added it because the pedal changes the sound. It adds all the overtones. I didn't have any of these anywhere else. I can't because then it would smear up the eighth notes. So in my opinion, you don't need pedal. If you're going to use pedal, push the pedal down right after you play the notes and lift the pedal up with the keys. Everything comes up together. I'm not going to bother showing it if that's all they're going to do. I personally would not use pedal, but you can if you want to. Just remember, if you're going to use pedal, put your foot on the pedal at the beginning, and you leave the foot on the pedal for the whole thing. Fermata at the end, you just hang on to that and let it die away. Just listen and wait for it to die away. If I do it with a metronome, I'll double the half note. I'll hold it for 4 counts instead of 2 and then lift up. Now there's a repeat sign there at the end of the second line, so you're going to do the first 2 lines twice. Now you notice the words. They put words on this, but they put the words under the staff here. It doesn't matter where the words are. They could be above the staff, between them, or under the staff. It's wherever they have room. They don't have room between them because the hairpins are in the way. It doesn't matter. If you want to sing it, go ahead. I ain't singing it, but you can sing it if you want to. I'm going to give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. Now let's play this together very slowly. Now, since it's 8th notes throughout, I put the metronome on 8th notes. So it's beating 8th notes. 1 and 2, like that. 1. We're going to go that slow. 1 and 2 and ready and go and 1. Repeat. And 1 and 2 and hold and 2 and off.